Welcome back and good morning, Central Oregon. Many are predicting that 2009 will be a difficult and challenging year, but your most important New Year's resolution for 2009 is to keep a positive attitude. Joining me this morning, Reverend Dr. Stephen Koski. He is the senior pastor at the First Presbyterian Church of Bend. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, what is within control are our thoughts and attitudes, right? Because so much will be out of our control.
Absolutely right. I mean, we hear bad news everywhere, and there's so much of that bad news we can't do anything about. But the one thing we can do something about is the attitude we choose each and every day. I mean, I had an experience flying, as we've all had those experiences flying, and particularly over the holiday period, a lot of people had some stressful flying experiences, but I was on the tarmac for about 45 minutes before the pilot came across and said, sorry, mechanical problems, we're going to have to get you off the plane, find you another plane. It's going to be quite a long delay. The guy next to me just blew a gasket. I mean, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. My day is ruined. I mean, this was the first thing in the morning. My whole day is ruined. And I'm thinking, boy, am I glad they found the problem now rather than 30,000 feet in the air. Now, we both experienced the same challenge, but we had a different internal experience of that because we thought about that problem differently.
Yeah.
And that's the key. We can choose our attitudes.
You offer, have you ever wondered why we only have a happy hour, but it's okay to have a bad day?
Yeah. And the problem that I think many people do is they choose to have a bad day when the day begins. And sometimes it's hard to determine how much of that we carry into the day. I mean, how much are the very real challenges we face? And there are some very real challenges. And I'm not trying to deny that at all.
Right.
But how much is how we choose to think about those challenges? So in terms of the stress we experience, the problems we experience, how much are the problems themselves, and how much are how we choose to think about those problems? Go ahead.
I was going to say we can learn a lot from a man named Viktor Frankl.
He's such an inspiration, and he was a survivor of the Holocaust, which is hard to imagine anyway. He saw his whole family killed in the gas chambers. He himself was tortured every day, but while being tortured, he came up with what he called, the greatest human freedom there possibly can be. He said, they can do anything they want to my body, and they are. They were torturing him, but they cannot rob me of my greatest freedom, which is my ability to choose my attitude. So he actually amazingly chose to forgive the person torturing him while being tortured. And he said, they can take everything from you, but one thing, your power to choose your attitude.
And that's what we need to realize in 2009 is that we tend to move in the direction of our most dominant thought.
We really do. I mean, the best illustration I have of this is imagine there's a 10-foot, say, 2x4, between us. And I say, okay, $1,000 right here. Everybody could use $1,000. All you have to do is walk that plank, and it's yours. I mean, it wouldn't be hard. You'd walk the plank, the money is yours, because that's all you'd be thinking about is that money, and there'd be no other distractions. But now imagine I put that same 2x4 between two 50-story buildings, and it's a windy day. And I say, okay, Christy, now there's $1 million there. I mean, would you walk that board? I mean, some crazy people might.
Right.
But you would fall unless you were trained in the circus. I mean, you would fall because you were no longer focused. You're no longer thinking about where you want to go. You now are thinking about where you fear you may go. Your most dominant thought now is, I'm going to fall, and you will fall. Because our life tends to move in the direction of our most dominant thought. I mean, God forbid, for example, if I had one of your children by the ankle, and I said, okay, unless you're here in 10 seconds, I'm going to let go. I mean, you would be there before I even finished the sentence.
Sure.
Because that's all you'd be thinking about is the safety of my child. We move in the direction of our most dominant thought. Although I did that exercise once in a group, and somebody raised their hand and said, which child? So you do choose your attitude at all times.
You do. And the good news is that you are in charge. I mean, there are so many things, like you said, that we are not going to be able to control, and a lot of people have a tendency, myself included, to stress out about those things. But we do have control of our thoughts and attitudes.
We can choose the attitude we have first thing in the morning, and we can choose the attitude we carry throughout the entire day. So I think one of the most important things we can do at the beginning of this new year is find a 3x5 card and write on that card I can choose my attitude. And just put it on the bathroom mirror, so that's the first thing that you see every single day. I can choose my attitude. I can't control a whole lot of that other stuff, but I can control how I'm going to think about it, and I can control my attitude.
Yeah, I'm going to do it because I want to have a good 2009. So, and I can control that. To see you.